Good evening, Shailendra, MEHTA. What do you think about private investment in university?
Private investments in new universities. So it's an interesting idea because one must make a distinction between for-profit and non-profit universities, right? So there are some countries which allow for-profit universities. United States is one, and the Philippines is another. But for-profit universities, unfortunately, do not work very well in the sense that they typically cater to the bottom tier of students and focus primarily on vocational studies. So a very specific skill that you need to acquire. So it's more like training as opposed to real education. So therefore, for-profit universities are, they are useful, but they're useful for very specific things. However, if you look at universities which provide the full spectrum of education, full spectrum of subjects, research, teaching, service to the community, those have always, for the past 2,700 years, been organized as non-profit entities, and therefore, private investments in education can be useful, but they have to be distinguished from for-profit investments. So if there are foundations, private foundations, or private individuals who want to do it on a non-profit basis, that is a great way to create great institutions. But if it is for-profit, then it is mostly useful for training. So that's a long answer to your short question.
And do you think like Western universities are still attractive to Indian young people? Do they now prefer to stay in India to study?
So, as you know, there still is a huge movement of students from India to Europe and the United States, but increasingly in the United States, because I think they have organized their universities in a very interesting way, which is very friendly for foreign students to come in. And there is, of course, also the language issue. So English and US universities and sometimes Australian universities are the ones that Indian students look to. But there are some who go to other European countries as well, and I'm sure there are some in France and Italy and other countries also. But yes, there are increasing numbers of Indian students. Interestingly enough, now undergraduate students as well, as opposed to students who are working on graduate degrees.
And what should be the purpose of university in India? Like to get well-formed people, or to get sure that a free access for all?
So, there are many reasons why people go to universities. There are some, many of them have believed that, they should get a job, and anything which gets them a job is good. So there are some universities which cater to this segment also. Essentially, so they focus on primarily giving you skills or training, and there are others which provide a very broad liberal arts education.
Thank you a lot, Shailendra, MEHTA.